Casanova, we are back with another video, guys. And as you can read by the title, kids in GTA 5, guys. The only way it's possible to get a kid in GTA 5 is to do a mod, guys. That is the only way. And you guys know I have the 10-year-old kid mod, Dante, guys. That's the only way. It's a many of kids, different type of kid mods you can use. But that, for instance, I know if you see my 10-year-old mod, that's the only kid that I've seen. I even seen a baby once. But Grand Theft Auto don't put kids and babies and stuff like that in Grand Theft Auto. Why, guys? Why? I think it's because it's too much violence, guys. It's too much violence in Grand Theft Auto. Like, imagine a kid. You could do violent things to kids and stuff like this. Won't look good, right, guys? So that's exactly why I think it won't ever be kids in Grand Theft Auto. Maybe in the future, who knows? But I'm pretty sure it would not. It's just too much violence. That's what I'm guessing, guys. Too much violence, guys, going on. But we're gonna see what Mr. Boss say and what he got to think. Maybe he think the same way. Let's figure out right now.
Video, we're going to be taking a look at a few interesting topics. We're going to be discussing why children are not in Grand Theft Auto games and why they haven't been since GTA 3. We're also going to be looking at who is the youngest.
So GTA 3, guys. I guess I really haven't got into GTA 1, GTA 2, GTA 3. I played it a little bit here and there for like 5, 10, 20 minutes for a video. But I never really played it, guys. It was like the overhead one. I really got into Grand Theft Auto when it was Grand Theft Auto 4, of course. So, I didn't even know it was kids in the other Grand Theft Autos. That's crazy.
Character in the Grand Theft Auto series, and some hints and clues that suggested that kids and children were maybe originally supposed to be a part of this fictional universe. So we're going to be talking about all that in this video. This kind of stems from a Q&A question I got a few days ago, and ever since I did the real life mod on my channel where I went to like high school and classes during the day, I thought it would be really cool to kind of look into this a little bit more. So without the way, let's not waste any more time and let's get it started.
Alrighty.
So we'll kind of work our way from the bottom up. Think of this as a pyramid, and at the bottom of this period, it's the idea of why there aren't children in the Grand Theft Auto game.
Let's see if he did the same. Like, let me know why you guys think it's not kids down below in the comments. Why you think it's not kids in Grand Theft Auto? Like I said, I just think it's just because it's just too much violence, and then they don't want to tie the kids in a game to the violence. That's the only way. That's something I'm thinking. Let me know what you guys think.
Games. Ever since GTA 3, there has not been really children present throughout the world that we've really been able to see. And although Rockstar hasn't put out an official statement on this, I think that it's pretty obvious. They simply just don't want children to be associated with Grand Theft Auto games. I mean,
like I said, guys, they just don't want to be associated with kids, right? They don't want Grand Theft Auto to be associated with kids. Too much violence.
I mean, GTA is an open world that allows you to do whatever you want. You could play it as passively, or you could play it as non-passively as you wanted to.
Violently.
I mean, if you think about it, there are some aspects of Grand Theft Auto 5 that are very PG. I mean, if you just like riding your bike, if you like playing golf or tennis or skydiving, there's very PG aspects to this game. And then there's the other side of it, which
the other side is the violent side.
Going to the strip club, robbing banks, being able to kill anyone at any time using any weapon and by any method. And I simply don't think Rockstar wanted to subject children to be involved in that. Now, Rockstar is certainly no stranger to controversy. We've seen them with the GTA San Andreas kind of hot coffee mod. There's also been a bunch of other controversies that they've been caught up into that has put a lot of spotlight onto the Grand Theft Auto games. But I just don't think they wanted to deal with the backlash that would be putting children into the game. In fact, we've seen other developers do this.
See, that is because a lot of people are gonna say, people, guys, the critics, they're gonna start hating. I'm like, oh, why would you put a kid in a game? Why would you do that? It's a lot of people that just gonna start making it a big deal, guys. So they probably just like, I'm just gonna stay far away from it because they don't want the backlash.
This as well. In another popular video game, Skyrim, children are in the game, but you actually can't harm them. And honestly, I'm surprised Rockstar didn't take this route, because if you think about it, it does seem really weird to go around this world and not have single children in there. It would seem a little bit more realistic, I guess a little bit more lively, but I'm guessing Rockstar just didn't want to deal with the, I guess, backlash that might come with having children in the game. because you know what people would do. They would do some of the most horrific stuff in the world.
Exactly. They'll be doing crazy. They'll see a kid on purpose and they'll just do it just because it's a kid. Because they never seen like that before. So I feel like people would do a lot of crazy stuff to the kids because they just feel like they never seen it before. They'll just do it for fun and stuff. So I guess I know it's gonna be videos and it's gonna be on a lot of news and stuff like that. And Grand Theft Auto gonna get a lot of backlash. You're gonna say you gotta take this out. This is not acceptable. And there's gonna be a lot of stuff. So this is why I believe they stay away far away from it.
As crazy and as gruesome as Grand Theft Auto can be, I just don't think Rockstar wanted to subject themselves to the backlash and the PR nightmare that might happen if they did include children into the game. So like I said, although there hasn't been an official statement on that, I think it's pretty obvious as to why they are not in
course,
Grand Theft
pretty
Auto.
obvious.
Now, that isn't to say that there weren't original plans to have children in the game. There's been many hints throughout the game and throughout many of the GTA titles that suggest we were supposed to have children in the game.
We were supposed to have kids?
If we date all the way back to GTA Vice City and Vice City Stories, there are signs that you can find that say, like, caution, children are at play, or, you know, watch out for children. There's also leftover children kind of models that can be found within GTA 3 and other previous games. And even in Grand Theft Auto 5, there was originally supposed to be an elementary school right where the Los Santos University is.
Really?
So I'll obviously have that image on the screen right now so you guys can see that. But that is scrapped right now. And if you go there right now, I think they actually turned it into a training facility. So that's one thing that has kind of happened. Maybe Rockstar originally intended to bring back children.
They probably was going to bring it back and they was just like, let me think about it. Nah, it's not worth it.
GTA 5, because what's the point of having an elementary school if it wasn't going to have
no
kids there?
Right?
Now, there's also some other hints that have been in previous GTA games, like abandoned school buses and being able to hear children when you're like driving by at super fast speeds. But I don't really think those have been proven as much as the physical things that we've been able to find. But there has certainly been hints in the game that suggest children were once a significant part of the NPC pedestrian life in game. So now let's talk.
What would have been cool though is if you could have started your own family, you could have got a girlfriend, you could have got married, and you could have had kids and stuff like Sims and stuff. That would be cool. But you guys know in Sims, there's no crazy stuff going on in Sims. Like, yeah, I think the most violent thing you could do in Sims is probably fight. I believe. Let me know if I'm wrong. I haven't played Sims for so long, but I just remember the only thing you can do is fight, and you can't fight the kids. You can't harm the kids. You can't do nothing to the kids. So that would have been cool if they did that in Grand Theft Auto. You know, obviously they could have made it a little. Obviously, like you say, I don't know why they didn't like do it like how Skyrim did it. Like you just can't harm the kids, but I feel like it would take away from the game a little bit just because Grand Theft Auto is supposed to be you could do anything you want, and I feel that if they made it like Skyrim when you can't do that, it's like you might as well just don't put it in the game or stuff like that. But who knows? It's two sides, guys. It will be good. It will be bad. It will be it depends what people want. So but I think it would be cool though if they ever had kids. You could start your own family and you could have kids and a baby and got married and all that. So that would be actually a cool thing, like The Sims. Obviously you can't harm them. That would be the best thing. So I think it will be okay. But some people probably be like, nah, they might as well not even just put it in there just to waste. But who knows, though? Who knows? That would be pretty cool, though.
Talk about the two youngest ever characters.
Who's the two youngest? I really want to know. Who is the youngest?
First of which comes
teenager. I guess it's got to be maybe
from
17.
Grand Theft Auto 4. You might actually recognize this.
I want to know who's the Grand Theft Auto, who's the youngest. I think Michael kids are like the only teenagers we really know of, and I believe Jimmy's like 18. Tracy's like 20. So it's like... It's
a character that we don't actually see or get to hear from in any cutscenes or whatnot, but it's Jill von Krastenberg. Now, if that name rings a bell to you, that's because the von Krastenberg is a hotel chain in the Grand Theft Auto series. There was one in GTA 4, there's one in Grand Theft Auto 5, and Jill is the teenage daughter of the von Krastenbergs. She's 13 years old, her place of birth is in Liberty City, and supposedly she's supposed to be a parody of Paris Hilton. We know that Hilton is obviously a very popular chain of hotels. Yeah. The von Krastenberg is a popular chain of hotels in-game. They look very similar.
So I guess she was in Grand Theft Auto 4, I believe.
Now, some information you might not know about Jill. She's been arrested twice. The first of which was in 2006 when she would have been 10 years old for possession of a controlled substance. And that was actually cocaine. And then a year later for public lewdness. So they also have like a bunch of other things on her, like she suffers from nervous breakdowns, eating disorders, history of drug and alcohol abuse.
Wow, that's
is
crazy.
On the Liberty City party circuit. So very interesting information, right?
I want to know who's the youngest in Grand Theft Auto 5, guys.
Actually, an infant from the game Vice City Stories.
Oh.
And it's actually a baby that can be seen in a cutscene. Her name is Mary Beth Williams. Now, you don't really get to interact with this infant, obviously, but this is the youngest character that ever makes an appearance in the Grand Theft Auto series. So I thought that was extremely cool there.
They're going off of other games. Like I said, I'm pretty sure the youngest characters on Grand Theft Auto 5 is obviously Michael Kids.
Because you don't see many young kids in the game. And if you play Vice City Stories, you'll see this infant only a handful of times. Now, many people often confuse two very popular characters in Grand Theft Auto 5 to be young and to be kids. And that's actually a misconception. And that is Jimmy DeSanta and that is Tracy DeSanta.
Exactly
the
what I was just
children
saying.
Of Michael and Amanda.
They're
so
grown.
just because
they
live with their parents, Michael, in their big house, doesn't mean that they are technically kids. In fact, both Tracy and Jimmy are both in their early 20s.
Oh, they both early 20s.
They don't have their own job. They don't have their own place.
So they 20. I knew Tracy for sure. I knew Tracy for sure was in her 20s. I don't know about
that regards
Jimmy.
In terms of going to a university or college or anything like that. They're still adults. So that doesn't count as children. I know many people were probably going to bring that up in the comment section, like saying, like, what about Jimmy and what about Tracy? No. They are not considered kids. They are considered adults, even though they act like kids. They live with their parents, and they don't really have any sort of responsibilities in game. Now, there is one reference in Grand Theft.
So there you have it, guys. That is why there's no kids. You guys, it's kind of obvious why it's not no kids. But let me know what you guys think why there's no kids. And if you guys would like kids in Grand Theft Auto 6, would you think that would be pretty cool? Let me know down below. I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts. I thank you guys for tuning in. And I'll see you